The 23rd of April 2025, April, I got that right, 2025, 23rd. Just see, am I better with the light here in the workshop? Well, I think it's better with the light. Anyway, back by popular demand is the Saga of the Volkswagen Caddy spare wheel. And before I do that, here is a set of little grommets. See them? These are little plastic fellas. You just push them up. They're joiners. They're in most cars, particularly if they're attaching plastic to metal. There's 10 in that. Their code number is 90467070201. See it there? Now they're for a Toyota, and they're bought in a Toyota garage. How much are they? €22 or 22 euros, or I make it €2.20 each for one of these little fellas. I don't know what the right name of them. They're a little grommet anyway, right? Now, isn't that some price gouging for 10 of them? Now, one of the things about this caddy van thing and dealing with, you need the proper clothes. You need an old cap with an old funny head on it like that, and you need a dirty jumper. You can have a clean shirt, clean underwear. Always have clean underwear on in case you be in an accident. Imagine if you're brought to the hospital and they were dirty. You don't want that. And maybe the one that's checking you in is a nurse and she lives up the road. Be all round the town. You want to see the state of him and the underpants when he was brought in here. Shame. So always put on clean underwear. Always vest and drawers or whatever you have. If you're wearing long johns as well, you want to watch them as well, because if the long johns is dirty, they'll lump all in the one. Anyway, I have good dirty clothes. A bit of old yogurt, bit of egg, bit of salad cream, and that old, what do you call it, mayonnaise. The doctor told me it's not good for you. Go for salad cream instead. And don't be taking coleslaw. There's too much saturation of mayonnaise in coleslaw. You're better buying it in a bottle and just put on a wee bit as you need it. And there's plenty of alternative dressings there, just as good. Now we're back to the Volkswagen Caddy van and the Saga of the Caddy van. And the first thing is I got the cover off. And it's made of steel, but it's light. It's 21 mil roughly. It's not meant to be opened by a spanner. That's it. Now, it in turn fits up on this lad. See there? It fits up on that. Now, that can be tight and was very tight. And to make matters worse, the thing it's fitted on actually goes round. Do you see what I mean? So, you would need a good screwdriver might do it. You would need, I used a wood chisel. Now, you want to watch, it can be dangerous. This is a file. Now, that won't work. You won't get in there. You see, there's a big rim here. You need a sharp thing like a wood chisel to pull it down. But that's not too safe. Now, another idea. Here's a bit of mild steel. And I have spring steel there for making springs. And there's also ground flat stock you can get in Caulfields in Ireland. Ground flat stock. So Caulfield Industrial in somewhere over Lough Rare over there, I'm not just exactly sure, it's in the west of Ireland somewhere, or maybe Limerick, will supply you with a bit of ground flat stock, or gauge plate as it's called, and you can shape it and harden it and temper it yourself. I think you'll get away with this wee piece of material, wee flat piece. So here's a flat file similar to ground flat stock or gauge plate. That's roughly the size you want, and you could grind off a piece, and this is another piece of ordinary mild steel which would probably work, to tell you the truth. Now your thing is, get the starter is the problem. You need to get it in here and get it started down and move it around, and this will move with you see, without the nut. So maybe that's an accident of design, or the Germans just did it this way, realising you'd be trying to get it off. Now the thing about it is, you might say, what about a young mother going home with the kids, or a young woman, maybe a young nubible woman, as to say, and she has these painted nails with the stars on them. You know, you do them blue and the little stars on them, like, and you get them done with a beautician. Could you put the nail in there and pull it down? I advise against it. I think it might damage the nail. You wouldn't know. I wouldn't agree with it. No, you have a tool ready. Make a tool. Now, have Volkswagen provided one? I can't find it in the kit, and there is nothing about it in the old owner's manual. That's one where it should be. Now, we'll move on from that. I got it out by cutting it. They're tough as be damned. Now, we're going to check what the pitch is, and here is me darling little tread pitch gauge. Right, that tells you the pitch of the tread. Now, this is a metric one, so these will be metric, they're German. That's no harm. Metric's good enough. But so we're going to look and see what exactly pitch it is. So here's 1.25, and it's not 1 point. Sorry, here I made a mistake there. Here's 1.75. So we're going to see what is the tread on an ordinary commercial bolt, one you buy in the shop, 1.75. So a 12 mil standard bolt you buy in the whatever shop you go to that does nuts and bolts is 1.75. Do you see that? This is a tread pitch gauge. It's metric, must be German, I don't know. But anyway, it's a good one. You see, it's a little, if you're buying one, get them with those little brass endings. You can tighten and open to suit you. One side of it is above 1 millimeter and the other side is below. Now, so there's other ones you can screw in and do, but anyway, we're near enough. Now, so we found out that it won't fit at 1.75. So now we're going to see, what about 1.5? And there you are. Isn't that metric fine? 1.5. It's a 1.5 tread. Now, if you're going to put a new bolt in here, you will not replace it with one of these. The ordinary farm centre bolt will not fit. It has to be a 1 point. I go again now. I'll say it 3 times so there's no mistake. The bolt and nut in the van itself is 1.5. ONEPOINT 5. FIVE millimeter. 1.5 is what's on the van. 1.5, which to my notion is metric fine. Okay, you have that. 12 be 1.5. So Fast Fit in Dundalk will have them, and most of the places will have them. So I would have one of them in stock. This is the minimal you'd need. Now you won't get. I doubt if you'll get a threaded bar in 1.5 12 mil. That'll do you, because you can hold up the thing a bit, that length. Or if you can get a black bolt, might be better, and get it about that length. I'd go 4 inches minimal, maybe in actual fact a bit longer. This one's 90 mil. If you get one 110 mil, be better, but it must be threaded up the whole way. So it's not going to be easy. I'd order it specially and have it, and the head will be all right. That's a 19 millimeter head. It's 8.8 to call it, the steel that's in it. So that's it. If you can't get that, you'll have to get your lathe out and thread cut on the lathe, and I doubt if any young mother will have a lathe in the boot and all that. So that's the story about getting over this problem. But what's inside this now is this fella, right? See, this thing here can go round, funny enough. So it's designed to push up on this. This is designed to push up on this. Now, there's 8 billion people in the world, and I'm the first to spot this. 8 billion. Isn't that some achievement? No. Right? So now, I've checked the hole inside in this, and it's 5.5. There's 3 holes. Now, there may be a special tool. Now, they'd want to be robust, because that would ring. The distance here is there's very little leverage there. So check and see, have you got that tool? If you have that tool, my advice is get a bit of spray, WD-40, and spray it up on the thread. Or put a bit of goose grease on it and give it a bit of movement, because you might be doing this late some evening on a crowded motorway and the vehicle's flying by. Now, if that's what you want and you think that's needed, that the crime has gone that bad that you need this, well, the best of luck. But the other option, to my notion, is the bolt, 12 millimeter by 1.5, as I say there. The reason I repeat myself a bit, I watch videos and I miss a word and I can't get the trend of it again. And I'm going to be listening to the news on the radio and there'll be a word missed, the talk. The people, oh, isn't that awful? What happened there now? And you say, will you listen till I hear what he's saying? And the whole thing will be over and they'd miss the best part of it. But the thing is, 1.5 thread, 12mm bolt definitely will let you out and keep it well lubricated. Now, if you want to go back to this system, check your kit. Have you got it? Is there a different one of these for each Volkswagen? Now, there were several people on here told me, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong. And yes, definitely this could be pulled off. But none of them was able to tell me there's a little lad inside with an anti-theft thing with 3 little projections. You want to have that ready. I can't find it in mine. So, the other thing is, if you're using this bolt, you need a washer. Here. Now, I think I'll braze a washer on, or thick washer. You see the width of this. That there is, we'll stop here. It's 25mm diameter, 1 inch. So you're in business there. A 1 inch washer should do. I'd put 2 washers on it. Now, I presume every young mother stopping or coming up to Christmas and it's snowing will have a washer with her and a 1.5 bolt. Right? So, could you make a spanner? Well, you'd have to use this type of steel. You'd have to use a couple of drill bits. And getting those holes right would not be easy. If you have that much skill, well, you're better off just buying a bolt. Now, if you're in that big a criminal area that they're going to steal the spare wheel, you go to this trouble. But now remember, well then you might have to think about it. I'm going to go over it again. To change the wheel on a Volkswagen Caddy, jack it up as best you can. Remove the bumper. 3 screws on each side, 3 Torx screws on each side. Put them away carefully. Take off the sub bumper. If there's a tow bar, the sub bumper won't be on. That's the metal bumper underneath. I don't know what the name of it is. You'll have to take off the tow bar. When you have them off, you have access to this. If you try taking this off without removing all the rest, good luck to you. You have to get a way down. It could possibly be done. My advice to you is practice with it. And you have to lie down under it and look up. Now, at the same time, I'm not being too critical of Volkswagen because you have to stick the spare wheels somewhere. I would have thought that they've come up with some clasp or other patented way instead of this. Really, a bolt is not a good way to hold it up. But if they're going to do it, they have this idea that the wheel is going to be stolen. So that's all right. So now you know. Now you're armed. If you want to try some day you have very little to do, give it a go. I have answered all the questions and given me best opinion. And what more can I do? What more can I do? Isn't it better to be armed for it? Forearmed is forewarned. It's a German invention. Several has had to break the window to get into the car. They have it that locks the keys in. Well, you can't expect, you're hardly going to expect old English engineering from the Germans, and they're good engineers. They perfected the diesel engine. So anyway, but if they didn't, I'd have done it now anyway, so they're only a bit ahead of me time. Comment underneath on 13 minutes, that's what's underneath. This fella fits over it. That's to make you think it's a bolt. I don't know what it's for. It fits up now nice and handy. It'll pull off. It'll pull off with my fingers, but it definitely won't pull off when it's in place. You need some way of getting in here, a pointed thing, and give it a lever, and turn it, and turn it, and turn it. That'll get this off. When this is off, you're still back to square one. Unless you have that spanner, you can't take this off. So if you have that spanner ready, make sure it fits it. I can't tell you if it's different for the different ones. Then this here can go round. So you can't use a vice grips. That's be where you go. To have you thwarted there, you think you're going to use a vice grips, you can't. So then you just have to get the special tool. And this, I've checked it, is made of good steel. This is good steel. So that'll not be easy filed or anything. Then you can't really get a tool up here on this head here because it's very close underneath, very, very difficult. So without the tool, you're really stuck. You're really stuck. So what you then do is you braze a nut on the top of this. You braze your nut on with good brass weld, brass brazing, and you need to put something to protect the van from the flames of the torch. The oxypropane will do it. And then you can screw this down like this, and then you can cut it off here, and then you can back screw the whole thing up, and you have this out. You can tie it up with wire to bring you home, but the whole thing is to get the best thing you can. Now, the problem with getting the bolt is it's going to be very difficult, because if you have a bolt like this, it won't go up far enough. Now, another way of doing it, if you had some type of a thing that would prop up the wheel, don't forget there'll be a spare wheel in there. You might throw it in the goods area. But if you push it up with a stick, have a stick that'll push it up, you would only need a shorter bolt. Once you get it up a bit, you can use a shorter bolt. So you'll have to improvise and get back to me if you have trouble. Now, has that been good on 15 minutes? Look at that now. I'm telling you, a farmer with cows. So you can say what you like, I don't care. You can tell me I'm mad, but how do you get your spare wheel on if you're stuck on the road out up on the hills, or in the city of Dublin, or in Fleet Street or Delir Street, and the traffic going flying by you? What do you do? I think it's happened to me a few times, but I always had a spare. Something's true. Now, the other answer is leave the spare there till it falls off and don't use it. That means that you don't have the benefit of that good tyre. You have a spare wheel there. And leave it in the back of the yoke. It's a bloody nuisance. It'd be nice if it fit in there. Now, I might come up with some other patent myself to hold up, but I think the bolt will be the job. And you see, if all goes to all, I'll turn a thread on the, either with a die, get a bolt, a big long bolt, and then thread it with the threaded. Now, that takes a bit of pressure. That doesn't easily thread. You can't use a pipe threading machine because they start at about 3/4. So it'll not take this, but you can thread cut on the lathe too. It's difficult enough to do on stuff that's not too thick in section, like, you know what I mean. But we'll get over that. But hopefully the way to buy is to buy the bolt and see what can be done. If you could get threaded bar in that right thread 1.5, you could braze a nut on the top of it as well. That's the best I can give you. Being stuck is no joke. And the other thing to take off this stud here, I was thinking, would be this. You see the way this is here? This goes up on this. If you had an old hammer, you'd buy them at the variety marts, cut the handle off it altogether. Or even leave a bit. You can get a stubby hammer, a very useful thing to carry in a car, and file this. You might get that in there. Do you see? See that? Grind that down, you might get that in there. You don't want this bit, so you'd only have the metal bit, and that would definitely take it off. That would be ideal if you got it ground properly with a nice wee V in there. That would take it out as well. I can give that to anyone that wants it. I won't be putting it back. I think I'm going to go around driving with the mad Germans on my tail end. Bye. Comment underneath. I'll not ban anyone. You can say what you like. I don't care. I'm only trying to help. Good luck.